You know, it's been a really long time since I've been able to go out and do anything for myself. Now, I'm not talking about stuff. Like, I have guitars and things like that that I really enjoy spending my time with. But very rarely lately do I have the time to just go out and enjoy myself, have a nice night to myself. No work, no school, no projects, nothing. So, I'm gonna go fishing, I'm gonna go camping. It's been a little bit of time since I went fishing. I don't get a lot of time to be able to do so. I like to go in the mornings, personally, but I work second shift now. It's currently like 11:30 in the morning, which to me is kind of waking up early, unfortunately. I had alarms set for like 6, but that didn't work out so well. Also, going camping. Got a site at Mount Misery, the same place I was at last time, but I've decided that I'm going to spend my day going the fuck outside instead of bed rotting like I normally do when I have more than 2 hours to myself. And I finally have a bait caster. I've always wanted to try a bait caster. Never had one. I've always had spinners my whole life. So, here's hoping I don't fuck this up. This is from Cast King. See how this does. So let's see how I do with it. I'm going to bring a spinner just in case I fuck this up. And honestly, there's a pretty good chance that I fuck this up. I haven't went fishing with my bike or anything involved with the channel since like 2024. This video here. I can never do anything without joy just needing to be the center of attention. Anyway, let's get myself ready and get the fuck out of here. Alright, these shouldn't go anywhere. You know, I don't film it a whole lot because I really don't want to feel like I'm copying people or trying to do the same thing as a bunch of other people, right? But I feel like I almost prefer taking the bike fishing, because really for me, it's catch and release pretty much all the time. It's not super often that I eat what I catch. I debarb all of my hooks, that way they're easy to get the hooks out so I can throw the fish back. More often than not, I just want to admire the fish, dude. First, I gotta go to the gas station so I can get myself some caffeine, maybe get myself like a wake-up wrap or something. I don't know, my life lately has been like all of my meals have been shit I can eat in the car or just like quickly do. When I say I don't have a lot of time for things, I really mean it. The majority of my work shifts lately have been 12-hour days. I work an hour away from my house. I'm still enrolled in school full-time. I have less than a year of that left. Then I also have to, you know, go maintain my relationship and exist there, work on my car. There's a lot of things in my life that have been a big back burner. And then this channel, I'd like to really be a little bit more active on it, which I need to do stuff. I need to go out and I need to do things that for me are worth filming, because I'd like to put a little bit more effort into my YouTube channel. I have a lot of fun doing this. I have a lot of fun editing the videos, doing the behind the scenes crap. Yeah, let's get myself some breakfast. But yeah, I just use these little Velcro cable management straps to hold the poles on. I'm not really ever going super far when I'm taking the bike out to go fish, so I'm not really worried. But yeah, we're gonna give this guy a whirl. But I brought my old reliable ugly stick. The ugly stick has never let me down, so regardless, I'll be okay. I don't know if I'm just dumb, but I feel like this reel just does not have a lot of tension. Somebody tell me why I'm stupid in the comments, please. But I'm going into this pretty raw. I got it strung up. I got, you know, through the little whatever the fuck that is, and in the right direction. And I think I have the drag adjusted right, but we'll find that out. Let's get down there. Yeah, dude, I love this reservoir. Even though it's like right next to a relatively busy street, it's quiet. I don't usually get bothered here. Good bit of wildlife. They no longer use this reservoir for drinking. And I don't know if the state still manages this one as far as stocking. I just gotta find a slight clearing. Every time I go out, I like to bring my cowboy boots just because they're super tall, in case I run into any like ticks or anything like that. But over here looks pretty decent. It looks like somebody like graded this a little bit because holy shit, dude, it's a lot easier to get down here than I remember. Come on, grasshopper, move. I'm not trying to squish anyone here. Honestly, my one complaint with this spot is it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get down here. And once you're down here, you're gonna set up shop for a few minutes anyway, so let's set that guy there. All right. See if I don't fuck this up. Okay, I fucked that up. Bruh. Wow, I really fucked that up. Immediately. Straight out the gate. Okay. Let's try that again. So, don't touch that because you'll unravel a whole shitload of line. Round 2. I did it again. Son of a bitch, dude. Yep, I got it nice and locked up. Okay. Try this one last time. What the fuck? Okay.
Oh my
God! So there is definitely operator error with this fishing pole. We're going to the ugly stick. You know, there's this wonderful service, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, called YouTube, where I can learn how to do all sorts of things. So we're busting out the ugly stick. It's either a chunky bluegill or a stick. Or a yellow perch and some weeds, dude. That's a fat perch. Come here. Got a little of both here, dude. Okay, come on, let's get you off. It's a nice little yellow perch. Look at this guy. Come on.
Some time later.
I feel like I might take a simple overnight camping trip into another character building experience because I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. I feel like I may have made an error in my judgment. I have to figure out how to strap those ones down. I have another one to go on there, but it's not quite the sketchiest thing I've done, but it'll work. All right. And I think I'll just wedge this one there. Look at this absolute disaster of a setup. Hell yeah. I always vastly overestimate the size of my back seat on this motorcycle. I probably could have strapped one of those bundles right here on the front, but fuck it, we ball. And I mean, the way I see it, I'm either gonna make it there or I'm gonna wind up on the news. Either way, it's at least going to be entertaining to me, so let's go. So my problem camping is I suck at camping. I bring so much shit every single time, and most of it is firewood because, let's be real, camping for me, I'm 80% sure I've said this before, because what if my sound bites, right? I love just sitting by a fire and eating food. So, I brought a shitload of wood. I also don't know if this campground has a store. Ooh, that is heavy.
This is sketchy. Okay. Oh my god. It's so wobbly. I can't lean this motherfucker too hard. And we are off, dude! I love doing super sketchy shit on my motorcycle. So I'm not gonna follow where the GPS wants to take me, because I know how to get to the campground. But there's another way for me to get into it that takes me on like way less gravel and dirt roads. And with the bike currently being so fucking like unsettling to ride right now, I'd rather take my time and go to the entrance that has a little bit more pavement. Thankfully I don't have too far to go and no one's gonna ride my ass, so I'll take it. Like I said earlier as I was loading the bike up, part of my problem is I like to sit by a fire the whole time. And I refuse to like give up any facet of it to make it easier to do. So I'm gonna put an unreasonable amount of wood on the back of my motorcycle because honestly I'm gonna burn all that shit tonight anyway. So the trip back will be way easier. You know, I wonder what the Viking Bag Sissy Bar is rated for. It's certainly not this. My problem is I no longer have a truck, so then I treat everything that I own like a truck. Yeah, last time I took this trailhead that's over here on the left, and that was like a mile and a half of just shit, uneven, like loose gravel, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like dealing with that right now. If I can remove a little bit of it that I have to do, great. I remember I left the campground last year just trying to figure out how to get the hell out of there, and I came out this way and it was an actual road, so I'm gonna take that. I don't mind riding over gravel and stuff like that, that doesn't scare me, but also I normally don't have like a shitload of stuff in the back of my motorcycle. Like, it wants me to turn around, but I'm not doing that. Fuck you. I fucking love the forest, dude. Like, being in the woods rules. .38, I made it. I made it. And all that shit made it too. I'm shocked it did, to be totally honest. I like this campground because the spaces between the sites are a little farther apart and there's a little bit of tree coverage. And I get some good sky over here. I like that. Let's unload this disaster.
One eternity later.
Alright, so after a little bit of dilly-dallying, I am set up. It takes literally like a minute and a half to set this tent up. I am just fucking lazy. So the layout, I got my tent. Hell yeah. Wood. Bike. Stuff. That's all I need. So I tried to get a campground that was near some water because I had this whole plan in my head of I'm just gonna go to a campground, I'm gonna fish when I'm there, and then I'm gonna walk my ass back to my campsite. Done. But it didn't work that way. So in Connecticut, if any of you that are watching that are not in the Northeast, you have state parks and forests and campgrounds. There's really nowhere in the state that you can just run off into a gigantic piece of public land and just plop a tent. You have to go through some sort of campground booking service like Reserve America or Hip Camp or something like that. The spot that I was trying to snag for today was at another campground that's on a big pond. It was right at the edge of the campground. It was next to the water. It was great. It was only available for one night. This night, you can only book a minimum of 2 nights there unless it's within 3 days in advance. Because it was booked the night before and the night after, so I couldn't book 2 nights there. You feel me? So I tried to call them, like, hey, can I just like manually book this because there's no way for me to actually do it on the website. Then they just gave me the runaround and was like, oh, you have to do it on the website, this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I checked earlier this week, and then the site's gone. So somebody probably did that. Whatever. Alright, so I got that started. I know the Duraflame logs are kind of like a cheat code, but I'm gonna let that thing burn off. But sometimes your boy is just feeling lazy and they just get it going in a way I don't care to sometimes. Once that's done, I'm gonna start throwing some food on. Let me show you what I got. So I got some corn. I got some wood chips to throw over the fire. It's not going to do a whole ton because it's an open flame and not like a smoker, but like, hell yeah. Popcorn for snack. Don't tell the Rangers. But I got some crab legs, a steak, some butter, some blueberry yogurt pretzels. This is Old Bay with butter, by the way. I seem to have forgotten a plate, so I'm going to use the foil that's currently wrapping the crab legs for that. But also, when the steak is cooking, I have this everything seasoning on it. Seasoning's delicious. But when the steak is cooking, I'm going to pour this guy on it. That's going to be good. But for now, I gotta wait for that fire to get rolling. I'll be honest, I've had a few beers and I forgot to do this. That was awesome. I love food. I love camping. I love eating food next to a fire. So, honestly, my favorite way to have corn on the cob is literally just over a fire or a grill or something like that. Just leave it in the husk, slap it on there. The moisture from like the inner silk strands keeps it pretty much protected, as long as you don't fucking leave it on there for too long. But I never really quite know how long to keep it on. I know when to take it off, if that makes sense. I feel like it takes maybe like 8 to 10 minutes. I don't know. Don't blame me if you fuck it up. Dude, it's the same with crab legs, because when you throw crab legs over a fire, it makes the shells a little bit more brittle, so they snap away easier, which is honestly really nice. I didn't remember any utensils or things to put food on. When I was packing up to leave, I took a paper plate out, some paper plates out, and I was like, alright, I want to bring these with me. And I did not put them in my bag, which happens every time I camp, to be honest. Now, all I have to do is just vibe the entire night, and I'm stoked about that. I have a decent bit of wood to get through. There's a chance I have to work tomorrow, which would suck. I typically don't work until 3 o'clock in the afternoon anyway, so I'm not super worried about it. As much as I hate that shift and how it's eaten up my entire life, it's been kind of nice to be able to sleep in a little bit during the morning. Alright, so it's obviously getting a little darker, and filming is making less sense as the night goes on. So I'm gonna sit here and rant for a minute. Now, last time I was at Mount Misery camping, I'll post that video here. I had this whole monologue about how life was a motherfucker and things were rough and this, that, and the third, right? And after I had that monologue, life got fucking 10 times. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna rant about how much life sucks. Because honestly, at this point, I am no longer struggling with life. Life is struggling with me, okay? So, I've talked about on the channel how I switch shifts. I have this new shift where I have a little bit more control of my life. I have a little bit of control of my life financially. Sure, I have a big workload of school, this, that, and the third, but overall, things are really good. I have a wonderful fiance. I have, just this year, I've been able to do a lot of really cool stuff. And honestly, like, I'm super fucking fortunate to be able to sit out here and go motorcycle camping. Like, I'm sitting at a fire in the woods with my bike behind me. And I have no obligations other than just to sit here and fucking relax. So, like, really, how bad could life be, you know? Sure, life can be a motherfucker sometimes, but life is gonna be a motherfucker to you no matter who you are, unless you're some rich hoity-toity asshole, I guess, but life is gonna do whatever life wants to do. Go for the fucking ride. It's nights like this where I'm able to just get out and relax and just spend a little bit of time by myself that make me realize that things aren't all that bad. You have a wonderful fiance, a motorcycle, a cool car, any guitar that I can ask for. I have lots of stuff encompassing all of my hobbies. I have a YouTube channel that just broke 800 subscribers, so there's 800 of you that give enough of a shit to listen to me, which is wild to me. First of all, I have a lot of really, really cool things planned, and a lot of really neat things coming up. I'm currently searching for an event location for something summer of 2028. I'm not gonna spill all the details just yet. I want to make sure that I can have something kind of solid to talk about before then. For the channel, I have a bunch of guitar builds. I have like maybe a half a dozen if I was to guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it right now because there are more obligations in front of me, you know. I have some stuff to make car content with. I have a big brake upgrade to do to my Subaru, which I'll do that at some point. Honestly, I just gotta get bolts and find the time to do it. But either way, I have a handful of things on the docket for the channel. I want to take the channel more seriously. I want to do more stuff, and I want to be able to take more content. One big thing about my life is I've made the choice that I want to work for myself at some point in time. So in the interim, in the short term, it's going to require me working a lot of overtime and settling a lot of debts, reducing my cost of living as much as humanly possible. And then figuring out what that means. I have a few plans in mind I have to work out the logistics of, but I've decided that that's the route I want to go. I am tired of clocking in for somebody else every day. I am tired of getting up and having to do X, Y, and Z for some rich motherfucker to have like their second yacht, you know? Don't get me wrong, I would like to believe that I'm at least a decent worker and I get shit done when I need to, but I'm tired. I would rather my efforts go to something that fulfills me personally and makes me money at the same time, and is me building my own sources of wealth and income and stability. I'm not looking to get rich, I'm just looking to be able to work for myself and have a little bit more like intensity and enjoyment to my life. I'm very fortunate to have the job that I do and the opportunities that it's given me, but I think it's about that time. Rambling aside, I appreciate every single one of you that have stuck around and stuck with me for the last several years of me doing YouTube. For the last 4 years of me being more active on YouTube. I know I take several month hiatuses because I fall into creative slumps. I don't have things that I feel like worth filming. YouTube is one of those things that I'd like to be able to focus on. I am 80% there as far as the subscriber count needed to be monetized, so. But seriously, from the absolute bottom of my heart, has been a personal journey for me. It's been able to have a documentation of the things that I've been able to do throughout the last 4+ years of my life. You guys that watch my stuff regularly have seen some very, very personal moments for me. You've seen some very large milestones of my life. You've seen some larger tragedies of my life. You guys have been there for that. And starting this YouTube channel, entering my 30s, starting this YouTube channel, getting back into motorcycles, all this has kind of marked a very transformative part of my life to where I'm not gonna accept whatever happens. I'm going to do what I want and live life on my terms, work on my terms, retire on my terms. So, thank you, every single one of you that likes, comments, subscribes, watches, shares, acknowledges my existence. I appreciate all you guys to no end, and it's such a wonderful feeling knowing that I have so many people that love and support me. Anyway, it's getting dark, and I'm going to turn my brain off for a little bit and just sit here and vibe by this fire until it's time for me to go to bed. But the thing I want to talk to you about is the current Forgotten Angels raffle. Shameless plug for Forgotten Angels. I know I don't shut up about it, but that's because they're wonderful people that do amazing things for disadvantaged youth in this country. So, as you've heard me say time and time again, Forgotten Angels and their mission is to end the cycle of foster care abuse. Dave and Cindy take these young adults into their property and they give them a tiny home. They help them get jobs, skills, sign up for the military, figure out what they want to do for their lives. They essentially, in a way, adopt these young adults and take them under their wing and give them the start that they never would have had otherwise. What Dave and Cindy do with their property of Forgotten Angels is something that really strikes a chord to me very personally. I've had 3 father figures and one of them was decent to me. that man passed away on August 31st, 2018, in my home. And that was Xavier Tyrone Jarman. He was my stepfather, but he was the only man that I felt worthy of calling fucking dad, okay? At the end of this month will be 8 years since he passed away in my home. And he came into my life when I was 15 years old, and that man did everything that he could to help turn me into the adult that I am today. That man took me under his wing. That man gave me life skills. He told me what it means to be an adult. My mother did a fantastic job, at least I say so. I'm not biased or anything. She did a fantastic job raising me, but she has 2 other children and had to work her ass off to make sure that we were good, to make sure that we were good. So my stepfather came in and did a whole hell of a lot for me to make sure that I became a proud and upstanding member of society. I might not be that thing, let's be honest. I'm kind of a shitbag. I've broken every rule of this campground in the first hour I've been here, let's be honest. But Xavier was a good man that really stepped up when it was time to for me, and gave me the father figure that I didn't have. And Dave in particular gives me those same feelings about how Dave and Cindy take care of those young adults. But the bike that is up for raffle is a one-of-a-kind Harley-Davidson chopper built by none other than Jared Weems of Weems Motor Co. The color is based on the David Mann painting Doggone Hot Dog, and the bike even uses authentic custom parts from the era of that painting. It is nothing short of a true homage to that famous artwork. It's one of 2 bikes, the other being a Triumph that is currently on display at the Barber Vintage Museum. Now, Jared Weems does not build motorcycles like I work on shit. He makes bikes that are fully functional, reliable. I would trust that dude to touch literally any mechanical object that I own. The dude is an absolute master of his craft, and that motorcycle is currently up for raffle, and every single cent from that raffle goes directly to helping the young men and women that Forgotten Angels seeks to help. They seek to shelter the young adults from the underbelly of the world, to make sure that nobody has to go, to try and make sure that nobody is going to have their life be destined to such as crime, drugs, gangs. So, Forgotten Angels doing this, it will always be a thing that I preach until the day I die. Like I said, every single cent that goes into a raffle ticket for that bike goes straight to helping these young adults. Link is in the description below. I bought a couple tickets because that thing would be cool as shit to own, and I like what they do. So, but anyway, I'm going to sit by this fire and I'm going to vibe for the rest of the night. I'll catch you guys in the morning.
I'm so sorry to all of the campers. All the other campers are having a nice peaceful Sunday morning. that I'm about to ruin. I am here. I'm gonna go that way because I walked to the dumpster this morning and those spots are unoccupied. I don't want to go near people. I want the fastest way out of here, so I feel a little bit less like a dickhead. Sorry guys. It is also 95% humidity right now, so before it gets a little too gross outside, I'm getting my ass home because I gotta shower in the worst way. I'm so sorry. Because of the humidity, I cannot see a fucking thing out of my glasses. It's super cool. But once I pick up speed, I should be good. Oh, there's that little brook I was talking about. I forgot it was so close. I always have a good time camping. Love camping, love being out in nature, love being just away from shit. And checkout isn't for another several hours, but like I said, I'd like to get home before it's too disgusting outside. But anyway, I unfortunately have to go back to the horrors of the real world for a little bit, so this is where I'm going to leave you guys until I see you next time. Hope you guys have an awesome week ahead. Stay safe, and I will see you guys next time.